Hi, my name's Phil Gardner and welcome to Fun with Boxes. Now, I've wanted to do a top 10 board game video for a long time now, but I've never quite got round to it because it does seem to be an awful lot of work indeed. But after watching Alex Radcliffe on his wonderful YouTube channel, BoardGameCo, I was suddenly inspired because I was watching a vlog that Alex had done, and he'd gone to some small board game retreat somewhere in America, and while he was vlogging he happened to be walking past their board game library, which was organised from A to Z, and as he went along he stopped and started looking at all the games beginning with A and started riffing on his favourite games that were beginning with A, and then he did the B's and then continued all the way throughout the alphabet. And I thought, what a fantastic idea. That would be a good list to do. It would take a lot of work, but I'm sure it would be a good and fun list to do. So thanks, Alex, for that inspiration. And now, a couple of months later, I am finally doing one. And as I record this video, I've noticed that the Dice Tower have only just scheduled in a top 10 video of board games beginning with the letter A. So I think the Dice Tower are also going to do this, which is simply quite fantastic. I wonder how many of their choices overlap with mine. Well, we shall wait and see. In filming this, my first ever top 10 board games video, I realised that it is indeed a lot of work to do actually, because I have to find all the games that I've decided are my favourite games beginning with the letter A, which is not normally a problem, I would imagine, in a normal sized board game collection. Unfortunately for me, our board game collection has gotten slightly out of hand. So while you may think grabbing game one would be straightforward, you just grab it off the shelf there, no, it could be anywhere in the house. So it took a long time to find some of these games, I can tell you now. Just one thing to mention, this list is simply what I currently think are the top 10 games beginning with the letter A. And they have to belong in my collection. And also they have to be games that we have actually played, because there are quite a few games sadly in our collection that we've not yet played. So this list that I'm giving you now is my current top 10 board games beginning with the letter A that I own and have played. But in any case, deep breath, here we go. Here are my top 10 board games that begin with the letter A. Well, coming in at number 10, we have the rather wonderful Ark Nova. This is a tremendous game, and quite frankly could be higher than number 10 really, but today it is at number 10. It's a game designed by Matthias Wig and published by Furlan Games, and it's a wonderful game about building your own zoo. It's for 1 to 4 players and runs for 90 to 150 minutes, and whilst that is quite a long playing time, it is a highly enjoyable experience, I must admit. And we've only played this, I believe, with 2 to 3 players. 2 players normally, and that game certainly did last a good 2 hours. But it was 2 hours of absolute fun. There's just a ton of stuff in this game, and the replayability is off the charts. And it's got quite a wonderful little game mechanic where you have 5 actions that you can take that are all on 5 cards, 5 different cards. And these cards sit at the bottom of your player board. And when you use one of these cards as an action, you slide it down, perform the action, and then slide it to the left, moving everything along to the right. And above each card is a number ranging from 1 to 5, which gives the power of that card's effect. So if I use the card that was in slot number 3, so the power of that card would be at level 3. But I would slide that down then, use it, slide it to the left, and all the other cards would slide along. So the cards that were at 1 and 2 are suddenly now at 2 and 3, getting a little bit more powerful should I use them. But of course, as soon as you use one, drops back down to 1. It's such a clever mechanic. I really do love this game. It is absolutely brilliant. And there you go, Ark Nova, my number 10 board game beginning with the letter A. Well, next we have coming in at number 9, a rather tremendous game. I'm probably going to say that a lot actually because they're in my top 10, so you can take that as being read, that they are quite tremendous, all of them. But this one is particularly tremendous, and this one is The Age of Atlantis. There. An absolutely cracking game coming from El Dorado Games. This one was kickstarted quite a while ago. I'm not sure when. I'll pop any dates onto the screen, but we've had it for a little while and only quite recently got round to playing it. And my goodness, what an enjoyable experience this was. Truly tremendous. I'll pop some pictures of the actual game that we did play. And this is marvellous. This is a competitive engine building civilization game. And you're the leader of a noble house and must prove to Poseidon that your house deserves to rule the city. It is rather terrific, and the components and gameplay of this it's just what a lovely surprise. This really is a cracking game, and the Poseidon statue that is actually used, that stands in the middle of the game, wow, that was fantastic. I wish I'd upgraded that to, I think they had a bronze version of it. An absolutely cracking game if you can get hold of it. That is Age of Atlantis, my number 9. And next we have, coming in at number 8, is the rather tremendous Ankh, Gods of Egypt. Here it is. What a wonderful game this is. Of course, designed by Eric M. Lang, one of my favourite all-time game designers. And what a lovely man he is too. We met him at the UK Games Expo this year, and it was tremendous to actually meet and chat with Eric. What a lovely man, as I said, but he also makes lovely board games, and this is one of them, Ankh, the third in a series of board games that may well feature on my top 10 lists in the coming months. The miniatures are fantastic, the gameplay is great. It's 2 to 5 players and will run for about 90 minutes, which I guess is pretty accurate. This is just a tremendous game, I must admit. And again, like I would say for a lot of the games on this list, could well be higher than number 8, could well be, but today it's number 8. So there we go, Ankh, Gods of Egypt. Okay, and coming in at number 7 is a lovely small 2-player game. One of our favourite 2-player games, I must admit. This is Air, Land and Sea. There you go, hold that up there for you to be able to see it. This is a fantastic 2-player game. Absolutely brilliant. It plays in around 20 minutes. It's designed by John Perry, published by Arcane Wonders. When we first had this game, oh my goodness, we could not stop playing it. I literally couldn't tell you how many times we have played it actually. It is quite a lot. And in fact, after I film this, I'm going to speak to my lovely wife Lisa and say, please can we play this tonight? Oh, what a tremendous game. Air, Land and Sea. 2 players battle for control over each theatre of war by playing battle cards and strategically utilising their special abilities to gain the advantage. And simply, whoever controls the most theatres, thus claiming the most victory points, wins the war. This is a terrific game. A brilliant 2-player game. I cannot recommend this game enough either. And thoroughly deserves to be number 7 in my top 10 board games beginning with A. And talking about games we've played quite a lot, coming in at number 6 is the wonderful Azul. A really great abstract game designed by Michael Kiesling. It is quite fantastic. We've not played this for quite some time, but when we first played this game, I was completely blown away, and we just had to carry on playing again and again, and we had to introduce it to our friends so that they too could enjoy what we were enjoying. It's an abstract game, and you know the theme is you're a tile laying artist and you want to embellish the walls of the royal palace of Evora, and that's what you're doing really. You are tiling the walls, and it's such a clever little game, so simple to play. You just pick a tile of the same color group from a factory display, pop them onto your boards, aligning them in a certain way and scoring wonderful points. This is a beautiful looking game. It is absolutely beautiful looking. Everything about it is just quite fantastic. The quality of the bag, the quality of the pieces. Look at them, they just look like sweets. I could eat the lot of them, but that would mean I would probably need to go to the dentist and have to buy another copy of the game. So I don't think I shall do that really. It simply is a joyful game, we have not played this for quite some time. Again, another game that I think we need to get out and play again. So there you go at number 7. So there you go at number 6. Oh, 7, I've forgotten already. I got too excited. Anyway, there we have Azul. What a cracking game. Okay, let's stop a second and let me give a shout out to some games that didn't quite make the list, but arguably on any other day could well have been on the list. The first one is Agropolis, button shy wallet game. This is fantastic, and it's a standalone game from the Sprawlopolis game system. Another fantastic game by Button Shy, and being a wallet game, it's a tiny little game with 18 cards. It's for 1 to 4 players, and you just build in almost like a tile placement system where you're using cards instead of tiles and building up your own Agropolis. And it is indeed a brilliant game that you can actually genuinely carry around in your pocket. I'd recommend looking this one up and any of the Button Shy games for that matter. Next up we have Architects of the West Kingdom by Shem Phillips and S.J. McDonald. This is a tremendous game that I realise I've got the back on the wrong way. Oh dear. Architects of the West Kingdom is an absolutely fantastic game. The first in a series of 3 games in these particular ones. As with all Garfield games, they really are quite fantastic and extremely distinctive with their wonderful art. Architects of the West Kingdom, brilliant. I like the other ones as well, I must admit. I think Paladins of the West Kingdom may be my favourite, but there we go. Architects of the West Kingdom, so close to being in the top 10. Another game that is truly fantastic is Awkward Guests. Take a look at that, look. That cover could not be more grey, could it? Doesn't look that appealing, to be honest. However, it does have a Dice Tower seal of excellence, and for good reason too. Oh my goodness, if you want to have a modern day game of Cluedo, look no further. This is brilliant and so clever. It's an innovative card game of mystery and deduction where each game creates in a completely different way the night Mr. Walton was murdered. Interrogate the suspects, question the household staff and examine the crime scene, search for clues, and you do all of this whilst exchanging information with your opponents or hiding it from them. A brilliant game, highly worth taking a look at. And next up we have a game that's very dear to my heart, and that is the Advanced Squad Leader. And this is Starter Kit number 1 by Multiman Publishing Games. This World War II game ironically got me into the board game hobby in general. There's a story to be told there, and one that I will no doubt share with you at some point on the Fun with Boxes channel. But just to know, this game is very special to me indeed. And I've got quite a lot of the advanced squad leader game systems, I must admit, and never played any of them. One day, perhaps. One day. I have played through this game a few times, but never fully completed a scenario because I've had to play it double-handed on my own. But a game that's very dear to me, that's Advanced Squad Leader from Multi-Man Publishing. And finally, here is Andean Abyss, Insurgency and Counterinsurgency in Colombia. And this is a game from GMT Games, and one of the coin games, in fact the first coin game, counterinsurgency game, the first game by the wonderful designer Volko. Oh, Volko, you are a genius, sir, a genius. This surely would be top of my list, but for the fact that sadly, again, I've never finished a full game of it. I need somebody to play these games with me, you know. But I know for sure this game would be right up there, if not number one. I just need to get this to the games table. Andean Abyss from GMT Games. Fantastic stuff. So, there you go. There are a few games that very, very nearly made it into my top 10. And with that, let's continue. Well, I must admit, I didn't realise just how much fun doing this top 10 board game list would be. I've lost count of where I am, and I don't care. I don't care. I know that there are 10 games on the list. What number the next one is, who knows? I do know. In fact, I do know. And this game is coming in at number 5 on my list. And this is one of the earliest games that we started playing when we first started our epic board game journey. And that game is Alhambra. There you go. Now this, as I peer over the top of it, is the mega box version from Queen Games. And it's a game by Dirk Henn. And it is quite simply an extraordinarily brilliant game. I use the word extraordinary simply because I just stared at the back of the box, where it says Alhambra Mega Box is an extraordinary collection of the base game and various expansion modules that provide new ways to experience the world of Alhambra. It is a brilliant game. The base game on its own is brilliant, but this huge, ginormous box here has 24 expansion modules, 14 designer expansion modules, 3 fan expansion modules, and 2 Queenie expansion modules as well. There's a ton of stuff included in this. And needless to say, no, I haven't played all of it. No, indeed. In fact, probably only played with 1 or 2 expansions so far, and that's another problem with having such a big board game collection. This is for 2 to 6 players and plays in about 45 minutes to an hour, which I think is quite right. We've tended to have only played this at 2-player, and I think 40-45 minutes is a good shout there. A tremendous game, well worth getting hold of if you can. I mean, you don't have to get this giant box version, of course, but if you do, I'm sure you will have many years worth of exciting times laying ahead for you. So there you go, Alhambra. And next, coming in at number 4, we have a lovely little game, and that game is called Aqua Garden. Oh, this is a joy to be sure. The game components for this game are just exceptional. Oh, what a tremendous game this is. As you literally build your own aquarium, walking around, picking up fish to put into your aquarium, and whoever has the best aquarium at the end of the game wins. Oh, this is terrific. It's for 1 to 4 players and will run from 40 to 60 minutes, which is right. Very simple, very easy to play. But oh my goodness, the components of this just make this game so beautiful and so lovely to play. This is a cracking game, and we enjoyed this so much, in fact, that we bought all the expansions as well. And I believe you can only pick this up via Kickstarter, but if you do see a copy anywhere, please do snaffle it up. You will not be disappointed. I can tell you that much. And this firmly deserves to be quite high up on my list of board games beginning with A. So there you have it. Aqua Garden. And now on to my top 3 board games beginning with the letter A. Okay, coming in at number 3, but could be number 2, number 1, but today it's number 3, is a game that is quite fantastic. And it's a game that really stands out on the shelf as well because the game's name is not on the cover. Can you imagine that? It is Abyss. Look at that board game cover. Wow. I was blown away when I first seen this on the shelf. I was like, what is it? What is it all about? I need to have it. I don't care. It just looks fantastic. I need to have it, and I hope it's good. And good it was. Superb. The artwork on this game is absolutely stunning, but it's not just the artwork. The gameplay. The gameplay is absolutely superb. It's a game for 2 to 4 players and runs for around 45 minutes, which I would agree with there. This is such a joy to play. In the game, you would be trying to affiliate the best representatives of the allied races, recruit honoured lords and benefit from their powers, and control important locations in the kingdom. It's a brilliant, clever little game, clever little push your luck game. If you've not played it, this is one you really should look at. Can't recommend this one enough. That's Abyss, number 3. And coming in at number 2 is a box that is truly ginormous. A box that is called an infinity box. The game is, hang on 2 seconds while I get this to the table. It's a 2-man job, probably a 3-man job. And that game is, there we go, Anachrony. Wow, as you can no doubt tell, this game box is bigger than me. There you go, bigger than me. There's me behind the game box, and there is the game box in front of me there. You can't really tell which one is bigger. Well, apart from the fact that this box is far bigger than me, actually. Far bigger than me. Anachrony, a game by David Turczi. From Mind Clash Games, and oh my goodness, this game is frankly superb. If you've not played Anachrony, I would highly recommend that you do so as soon as you possibly can. It's a tremendous game. There's so much to enjoy in this, obviously, in this big infinity box. The components are just out of this world, absolutely superb. The game itself is brilliant, absolutely brilliant. It's such a clever game mechanic, where in this game it's way into the future, and the planet has been nearly destroyed by some sort of explosive comet or meteor, and the survivors, as they battle to survive in this now hostile world, realize that they can go back into time and try to save the planet from its near extinction. And the game mechanics here with the time travel, where you can actually take something from the future and bring it back to you so that you can use it, but only then when you get there into the future, you have to replace that thing. It's mind-blowing. It's blown my mind now, even just trying to think about it. And it blows my mind every time we play it. I've probably said it all completely wrong, but I don't care. It's just so clever and so mind-blowing. So it's okay if your mind is blown to babble and not make any sense at all, which is what I'm very good at sometimes, I must admit. So yeah, there's tremendous game components, there's tremendous mechs. Everything about this game is an absolute joy. It really is brilliant. And don't be put off by its size or complexity. It is a game that you have to really carefully read the rule book. But once you've played a few rounds of the game, you really get into it. And it's not as complex as it may appear to be. Anachrony, a brilliant game. I would play this any day of the week, any time of the week. A secret to Fun with Boxes, thumbs up for this one. Shh, don't tell anyone. Joyful and triumphant. Look at the size of it, man. It's alive. It's alive. Oh. I think if Lisa ever threw me out of the house, I could live in this box, you know. I really could. And what is my number one board game beginning with A? Why, of course it is Arkham Horror, the card game. What a fantastic game system this is. This is truly, truly an incredible experience, all from hands of cards. I've never known a game to do so much just with a humble deck of playing cards. It is something to be seen to believe. It is something to play to believe. Wow, if you're into Call of Cthulhu or the Cthulhu mythos, any of the games, the many games that have been inspired by the works of H.P. Lovecraft, Arkham Horror, the card game, is a perfect example of this game. It is absolutely tremendous, and the amount of content out there, as you can no doubt see, well, you can get quite carried away, let me tell you now. You don't need to buy all this stuff, but I'm sure if you did, you would be more than happy. You can pick up the core Arkham Horror card game box and have hours of fun with that. And then you can pick up some of the other packs that have been redone. Originally, these versions of the game, this one is the Return to the Night of the Zealot. These ones originally came in packs that you would pick up and buy every month. And each pack would have a different adventure, all related to the same core campaign. But now you can get all these adventures into one box, similar to this type of box, which they've reprinted all the original core adventures into one box purchases, so you don't have to try and hunt down the monthly packs at all. And now, instead of them doing the monthly packs, what they are doing is they are producing what they call campaign expansions, which is all the campaigns in one box, and then another box of investigators that have been designed specific for this adventure. And I've got both boxes all in one there, just to save some space. And we've got a number of different ones here. This is the Feast of Hemlock Vale, which is the latest one. And it's such a clever game where you build your own character and then you will use that deck of cards to play the game. And the game itself then are these small little adventures you go on, and the locations are cards. And at the bottom of each card will be where that location is connected to, so that if you wanted to leave that card and follow onto another location, you would find that card and then put it next to it, and then you can travel between the two cards then. And what you will be doing is investigating some strange goings on, some nefarious goings on, some people may say. Check out my Guest of Robin Hood for me destroying the word nefarious, indeed. Yes, but you will be using your character cards to battle monsters, chase cultists, investigate your location, looking for hidden things, or perhaps looking for a key to a door that will enable you to move to another location. And you would reveal that card and see what comes there. Could be that some strange beast is lurking there, or it could be that you fall through into a cellar. Who knows what could happen in a game of Arkham Horror? And it is highly recommended. What a brilliant game system this is. And my goodness, you can tell it's such a good game system because they've created so much content for it that it really is fantastic. And I must admit, as you could probably no doubt tell, I'm all in. As soon as a new campaign expansion set comes out, I'm on it. They even do some standalone versions as well that you can pick up, rather than being a campaign game, just a standalone small adventure in a small pack of cards, so you can use the characters you already have to adventure through that. Absolutely tremendous. Well, there you go. That's Arkham Horror, the card game, my #1 board game beginning with the letter A. Well, there you go. That's my first ever top 10 board game list. I hope you enjoyed it or found it entertaining, or at least were interested to see what my top 10 board games were that begin with the letter A. Well, it won't surprise you at all to learn that the next video in this series will be coming out soon. And that, of course, will be board games beginning with the letter D. No? No, of course not. It will, of course, be board games beginning with the letter B. One thing I forgot to mention was just how many board games do we have beginning with the letter A? Well, I know my list of games is not quite up to date, but I do believe we have a rather frightening 68 board games beginning with the letter A. So we did have quite a few board games here to choose from. Well, that should give you some idea of just how big our board game collection has grown over the years. So much so that there is a little room left for me and Lisa to actually live in a house. Thank God we do not have board games in the kitchen, at least, or the bathroom for that matter. But time may tell. Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? As we run out of space, we may need to utilize other rooms in the house, because all the other rooms are full of board games, let me tell you. Well, there you go. I do hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you'll enjoy the ones coming in the future. So if you did enjoy this video, please consider giving it the old thumbs up, and also click that subscribe button. That would be awesome and would certainly help me grow the channel and bring you more top 10 videos in the future. Well, thanks as always for watching. Please do take care, and bye for now.